This video is designed to support my learning through my Assistive Technology course through Queen's University. The Ontario Teachers Federation defines assistive technology as any piece of technology that helps a student with or without a disability to increase or maintain his or her level of functioning. We know that well-matched assistive technology can provide solutions to people who experience barriers in their life and learning. The universal design for learning recognizes that the ways we learn is as unique as our fingertips. When implemented correctly, the UDL model can minimize barriers and increase learning for all students. I believe that Google Sites is an assistive technology application which can directly support a universal design for learning. It can provide students with a variety of ways to represent their learning through information sharing modes like print material, visuals, and videos. Google Sites can authentically engage students by providing multiple options for sharing what they've learned. Seamless feedback can be shared between teachers and students by utilizing the sharing capabilities within Google Functions. This style of feedback feels safer to students and encourages greater risk-taking. When thoughtfully assigned, teachers can create authentic assignments which give students choices and recognizes their interests and prior experiences. In my contained ASC classroom, since the creation of a collaborative Google site, which I designed to give my students an authentic space in which to share their learning, I have personally witnessed an increase in collaboration and communication skills, as well as a greater willingness to be an engaged and risk-taking learner. As many of my students are integrated into different learning spaces outside of my own classroom, by completing shared tasks, such as this collaborative Google site, my students can now complete work regardless of the time or the space that they're in. So let's check out what our collaborative Google site looks like, and I will demonstrate how easy it is for students to navigate and create writing pieces. So this is our home page here. And when you see a little arrow like this, it lets you know that there's a link further underneath there, a different page. So if I click on All About Us, it brings us to this page where my students are in the process of writing little biographies about themselves. So I put a little writing piece about me. I do have a blog. The neat thing within this too is that you can embed links. So when you see something underlined like this, you know that right away. You click on that and it's going to bring you to another piece of information. I've been teaching my students about the importance of being safe on the internet. So there are no faces except for me. Any photos that are used have to be side profiles or from behind, and students are not to use their names. Everybody's using their initials. So with this, students were given the choice of whatever layout they wanted to use. Over here are the different layouts, and honestly, it's as easy as clicking on it and inserting it, pulling up a picture, and doing some writing. Let's go back up to the page here. In our class, we're doing a Canadian road trip. We haven't really inputted our information yet. That's one of our big projects that's coming up. We are part of a postcard exchange program. We do have a chart that's a shared Google Doc that the kids are inputting information from the different postcards that we're receiving. And coming up, the students are going to be asked to pick 2 postcards and do some further inquiry learning around it, and then showcase their learning on this website. If we go into here, this is where we get into more of the tech stuff. So we use Coding Week and different technology opportunities to really look for new ways for students to learn and showcase their learning. So if we look down here, these are just a little samples. I'm in the editing mode right now, so that's why this looks a little bit strange. Students then had to pick their favorite thing. They had to kind of write a summary. This is a perfect example right here, this writing piece. If I had asked students to do this on paper, I would have gotten maybe a sentence. If I had asked students to do this in just a traditional Google Doc, again, I probably would have had a few sentences. The students really become engaged when they can choose their layout from over here and decide how much writing they want to do and how many pictures they want to use. Giving students choice like this, which is just so simple, really increases their engagement. So we explored things like Photoshop, Sketches School. We use a balance between iPads and laptops or Chromebooks in our classroom. I'm very fortunate to have that. A lot of my students do have C acclaim, so they come with their own technology, but I've worked really hard to also have a one-to-one ratio of iPads to students in my classroom, regardless of whether they have a C acclaim or not. All right, let's go back up to here, and I'm going to show you how easy it is for students to add on to things. So we're also doing something called the Good Food Machine. Let's click on here. Now, I'm going to have students do some writing about what the food towers look like in our classroom. But to start with, let's share with you. So I've clicked this little insert, that's the layout, and I want to put a picture here so that everyone can understand what a food machine looks like. So we have a shared folder in my Google Drive, and any photos that I have, I put into here so that students can access them and use them for their learning. So let's find one. Here we go. This is what the towers look like when things are just starting to grow. So you can see all I did was click it and it popped right in there. I'm going to click on the plus sign. I'm bringing my picture from my drive, which just disappeared on me. Here we go. This gives you an idea of what it looks like when things start to grow a little bit more. I believe, let's see if I just click over here. Nope, nah, something went wrong. So I do have to go through that process. And we're going to reload the whole thing. And that's okay. All these little things that do happen, sometimes the students get a little irritated. But for the most part, things go pretty smoothly within Google, and they're pretty chill. Okay, so we'll try that again. So I tried to, take a little shortcut. That didn't work, so now we know you have to actually go through this whole process, and that's okay. And let's see, any other tower pictures? Nope. So let's just choose one. Come on, where did they go? We'll do that one. That shows something that it's just planted in. Okay, so now my students can say, oh, right, these are our food towers. Well, what can we do with our plant? And I'm going to click here. I'm going to get rid of the photos. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to insert a text box. So all I've done is click text box, and I'm going to say, we are learning how plants grow from seed to table. But there are more things that we can do with plants than just eat them. Find out what we have been doing below. And then my students would be encouraged to try and answer that, pick a format, and they're going to insert photos. Super easy. I love it. It gives my students choice. It engages them. We can all work on it together. They're giving each other feedback. It's just an amazing, powerful application. Thanks for listening.